Sure. Preparation with regard to trees has a lot to do with keeping trees in proportion so that the height of a tree, the width or spread of a tree canopy is balanced with the size of the trunk. More often than not, following hurricanes and bad storms, not even hurricanes, but just strong wind events that we have here, throughout the rainy and summer season, more often than not, trees blow over and uproot and come out of the ground and fall over because the canopy of the tree, if it has not been pruned in some period of time, or certainly not pruned properly, it offers so much resistance that the tree is going to give before the wind will blow through it. And so with enough wind pressure, those trees are literally lifted or torn out of the ground. One of the most popular trees in South Florida is the family of ficus trees. And ficus trees are notorious for not having good anchoring roots. They have a lot of roots, but they all spread across the surface or just under the surface, and they don't anchor or secure the tree to the ground. So in the event of a wet storm in particular, more than just a dry storm, just the wind, but in an event of a wet storm where the ground becomes saturated, then it's loosening the soil surrounding the roots, so it's even worse. Very often after storms, you'll see large ficus trees laying down with their roots up in the air, where they've just fallen over. So preparation should be, in most cases, opening up the trees, thinning them out. Trees have the ability to, in addition to their primary branches that they're kind of born with, that they grow with, they have the ability to fill in the gaps between branches by sprouting unnecessary branches that in an area where they don't have storms to deal with, no big deal. But in an area like this, all of that extra density can add to that sail effect of the wind, blowing against the tree, creating kind of a sail that pushes them over. So what we call maintenance pruning is a necessary evil with especially larger trees, larger canopies, to thin them out, open them up, and allow the wind to blow through them. Over pruning, which is sadly commonly done by inexperienced and unqualified so-called professionals as well as homeowners, can be as dangerous as not pruning at all. Because if you take too much out of a tree, then the wind blowing against the few branches that are left, in kind of logical theory, you think it just blow right across it, no big deal. But what happens, what's been proven actually by studies the University of Florida has done, and they have video of this. They actually have tree farms up in the northern part of the state where they set up large fans, airplane engines, almost like airboat motors that blow wind at high velocity against the trees. And they've done different degrees of pruning to show that, of course, not enough pruning is dangerous, and too much, because in the sense of too much, if you thin out a tree so much, then a particular branch that has wind blowing against it will bend to the point where it'll break. Where if it wasn't pruned so much, and you maintain some other branches, secondary branches attached to that primary one, they offer balance. They offer a dampening effect. When the wind is blowing a branch in one direction, having a branch growing off of it in another direction kind of pulls it back and helps the reaction. So you have no pruning or you have over pruning, both extremes, not good. Needs to be a professional in the middle that can look at the tree, evaluate it, make decisions on which branches can come out without adversely affecting the tree, which branches should remain. So there's an art to it, a skill to it, and certainly experience and training is primary.